McAbee, Tackle Warehouse Pro, and today we're out on the lake. It's early fall. Air temperature's starting to cool off. It's going to start dropping the water temperature. And for me, that's time to start throwing a deep diving crankbait. And the bait we're throwing today is Randy McAbee signature series called Big Mac. It's a bait I designed with BasStar to try to get to those fish in that 20-foot range. A lot of baits out there say they go 20 feet, but I haven't been able to get them there. This bait here will do a true 20-foot on just a cast and retrieve. Water temperatures, was in the mid 70s, and it's now dropped below 70. So the fish are going to be out on the main lake, out on the points, feeding up and getting ready to head to their wintering ground. So we're going to target the main lake points anywhere from that 12 foot of water down to 22 foot of water, and just cover a lot of water until you intercept a school of fish and start putting a pattern together. When it comes to throwing deep diving crankbaits, if you're going to try to get down to that 20-foot range, you've got to have the right setup. You got to get a good 8-foot cranking rod. This one here is a Dobyns 805 Randy McAbee signature series rod. It's got a lot of backbone to it. I don't like a real soft rod. I like a lot of backbone with a really fast tip. Like today when we're in the wind, you can really throw these baits a long ways. And that's the biggest key to getting a crankbait down to that depth is a long cast. The other key to getting it down that deep is the line. I always use 100% fluorocarbon. It's got less stretch. It's a heavier line, so it helps the bait get down, and it sinks in the water. Any kind of line that floats stays up, and it's going to have this bigger bow in the line, keeping the bait from getting its max depth. The reels I like to use, I'm not so conventional in a lot of ways. I like a stiff rod. My reels are all 7.3-to-1s. I don't like the slow cranking reels, just because when I come out in the fall and I'm getting on a crankbait pattern, I want to cover as much water as I can in a day. And when I'm covering a lot of water, my trolling motor's on high, I can't even catch up with my boat. So that 7.3-to-1 catches up with the boat and then allows me to pull the crankbait down into the water. The way I like to work these baits is when you're fishing a deep diving crankbait, you have to be on the bottom. Bottom contact is a must. You're not going to catch them unless you're beating around in the rocks. Once I find that the fish are in that 20-foot range, that's what I'm going to key in. That's what I'm going to put my boat in, and I'm going to cast parallel to the bank and try to beat that thing in the rocks as much as I can, make a fish react to it. Every bait's got its own, characteristic. You don't want to just grab a bait, go out, throw it. It doesn't do what you want it to do, so just give up on it and think that it's a piece of junk. Every bait's got its own action. The Normans I used to fish, they, I learned that when you made contact with a boulder or a rock or whatever it is what you hit, I'd speed my reel up a couple cranks to make that thing kick out to the side, and that's when a fish would react to it and eat it. On this bait here, it's more of, just a nothing bait. You just want to make contact with the bait, a nice slow retrieve, and this bait, what it does is when it hits the bottom, this thing will jump about a foot to either side, which way it deflects off the rocks. So it does all the work for you. You don't have to do anything to alter the action of the bait. It does everything you want it to do as far as make a fish react to it. There's different speeds you can fish it at, but I found that it's most effective on that slow to slow medium retrieve and just covering a lot of water, getting confidence in it, and keeping it in the water, getting it wet until the fish decides to eat it. One other thing to make sure you get maximum depth, other than the 8-foot rod, a good reel, good line, and a long cast, is to make sure that tip is all the way down by the water. If it's down there, you've got less of a resistance against the line to get the bait down deeper. If it's up here, you're never going to pull it down to its maximum depth. So I'm Randy McAbee. You know, come this fall, grab yourself a couple of these Big Mac crankbaits, get out on the water, cover a lot of them main lake points down in 20 foot of water, and catch them. Good luck. See you next time.